Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is my preempting of the Halloween season. So last year I'd been doing the booktube thing for a while, so I did a bunch of Halloween recommendations, but I did them like in the middle of October, I think they were, and the idea was that obviously if you were interested then you could read something for the Halloween season, but I thought I'd try and do this a little bit more planned in advance, and I'm announcing what I'm going to read in case anyone wants to read them with me or just want to read them, and maybe some people have already read them and they can tell me what they think, but I'm going to read these before the middle of October, and then I'm hopefully going to review them in time to have a little Halloween video. That's my plan. So what am I reading? So I've got 5 books here that I'm going to be choosing between. I'd like to read all of them if I can, but we'll see. So first one is A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. So this is one of the books I've really been anticipating to read. I've got The Cabin at the End of the World as well, but out of the two I'm going to read this one first. And he's a big name, I think, in modern horror. So I think I get the impression that Stephen Graham Jones, Paul Tremblay, and Joe Hill are the ones that a lot of people will talk about. And I've read Stephen Graham Jones and Joe Hill now, but I haven't read Paul Tremblay yet. So I'm looking forward to this. So I'll just give you a little sense of the synopsis on the back. The lives of the Barretts, a suburban New England family, are torn apart when 14-year-old Marjorie begins to display signs of acute schizophrenia. To her parents' despair, the doctors are unable to halt Marjorie's descent into madness. As their stable home devolves into a house of horrors, they reluctantly turn to a local Catholic priest for help and soon find themselves the unwitting stars of The Possession, the hit reality television show. 15 years later, a best-selling writer interviews Marjorie's younger sister Mary, and as she recalls the terrifying events that took place when she was just 8 years old, long-buried secrets and painful memories begin to surface, and a mind-bending tale of psychological horror is unleashed. One of the blurbs says, "This is your worst nightmare in book form. Guaranteed to keep you up all night. Terrifying, intelligent, and surprisingly affecting. This is horror to shout about." So, yeah, that's one of the ones I'm going to be reading. I'll probably read this one first, I think, but we'll see. I'm also going to read a Ramsey Campbell book, hopefully, called Secret Story. You're an underpaid civil servant who dreams of chucking it all to become a famous author. You live with your overbearing mother, who always seems to interrupt when you're writing a key scene. Your imagination is dark. Your inspiration, the terrible things that can happen to a young woman travelling alone. Your terrifying short story about a horrible murder on an underground train is to be published. Even better, it will be made into a movie. A pretty young journalist is pursuing you. Except you've been fired. The journalist wants an interview, not a date, and the film's director wants you to make a few changes in your story. And worst of all, your imagination has run dry. You'll just have to kill someone new. Secret Story. Where do you get your ideas? Well, that's a classic question that people give authors in interviews. There's also The Missing by Sarah Langan. So I bought this because of recommendations on BookTube. So this is a remote and affluent Maine community, Corpus Christi, was untouched by the environmental catastrophe that destroyed the neighbouring blue-collar town of Bedford. But all that will change in a heartbeat. The nightmare is awakened when third-grade schoolteacher Lois Larkin takes the children on a field trip to Bedford. There in the abandoned woods, a small, cruel boy unearths an ancient horror, a contagious plague that transforms its victims into something violent, hungry, and inhuman. The long, dark night is just beginning, and all hope must die as the contagion feeds, for the malevolence will not rest until it's devoured every living soul in Corpus Christi and beyond. There we go. This is apparently really, really good. So, The Missing by Sarah Langan. I'm definitely going to be reading that in October as well. The Burning Girls. Big shout out to Pax, because Pax is the reason why I have this. So check out Pax Panic's channel, because her channel is fantastic. Every video she does is worth watching, but it looks really good. This is 500 years ago, 8 martyrs burned. 30 years ago, 2 teenagers vanished. And 2 months ago, a vicar died mysteriously. Welcome to Chapel Croft. For Reverend Jack Brooks and teenage daughter Flo, it's a fresh start. New job, new home. But in a close-knit community, old superstitions and a mistrust of outsiders mean treading carefully. Yet right away, Jack has more frightening concerns. Why did no one say the last vicar killed himself? Why is Flo plagued by visions of burning girls? And who is sending them threatening messages? Old ghosts with scores to settle can never rest, and Jack is standing in their way. Apparently, it is hypnotic and horrifying, another truly terrifying tale. Without doubt, CJ Tudor's best yet. So this does look really good, and it was reviewed as really good by Pax, and that's definitely something I want to read as well for the Halloween season. And then another one, so I've got 5 possibilities here, and this is The Listeners. The Listeners by Jordan Tannehill. I read the back of this in one of the book hauls I did recently, but Claire Devon is kept awake one night by a mysterious hum, but her husband cannot hear it, and it seems no one else can either. Gradually the hum unravels the threads of Claire's life, isolating her until she discovers others who can hear it too. First a student, then a disparate group of neighbours searching for answers. But what starts as a self-help group transforms into something far more extreme and sinister, with devastating consequences. This looks quite original, I think. So there we are. So these 5 books are books I am going to be choosing between for Halloween. If you fancy reading any of those, then let me know, and I'll do a wrap-up thing close to Halloween. And hopefully some of this stuff I will love loads. Thanks for watching.